Welcome to Kill Team Public Radio, your source for Northeast Kill Team content. We're broadcasting from the trenches, doing the grim work to bring you the latest Kill Team news and sharpest tactics. Tune in as we connect with players across New England and beyond, building community and pushing strategy in the 41st millennium. Greetings and salutations to everyone in the KTPR listening area. This is Kurt with a quick introduction of episode 4. We have made it. You know, about 70% of all podcasts die before they reach episode 4 or within the first 3. So I've gotten over that hurdle and we are moving onward and upward. Sky is the limit. Episode 4 is all about the Everwinter tournament that happened in the first weekend of December right here in Boston. It's one of our premier events for the New England Kill Team area. Sister tournament Ironweld in the summertime. A giant shout out to the Wicked Dickey folk who put together that convention. And I also want to plug the upcoming Kill Team retreat in April in Charlton, Mass. That is the next Wicked Dickey event with Ironweld following afterwards. Second, really nice shout out and a big thank you to both of our TOs and judges for this event. We had Will, our man up in Maine, the godfather of New England Kill Team, and of course Eli, our buddy from Salem. Been making the circuits as a TO, both online and in person. We really appreciate the both of them showing up, making the extra travel, and providing such a great and smooth experience for us. Lastly, in this intro, please remember to do the internet things. We are growing as a channel. Comment, subscribe, and share, as that really goes a long way to helping spread the word and build KTPR across the region. Without further ado, the first section of our show today is again a new player segment. However, the theme of our conversation covered Ironweld and was very apropos for this month's episode. So please, have a listen, and I hope you... This is Kurt from KTPR. We're doing one of our new player segments, and I caught up with one of the Connecticut region players. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
This is Tucker. I play out of Lotus Games in Colchester, and recently I've been spending a lot of time practicing with the stealth suits.
And I have to ask, when did you start playing Kill Team? When did you get into the game?
So I've been collecting Kill Team since, was Kill Team 2021 the first edition, or was that, because I've been collecting it since it came out, basically. But I didn't start playing until this past year, just because probably a number of issues, social anxiety, all kinds of stuff. But this year I kind of got out of my comfort zone and started playing at local game stores more, playing on TTS more. NEKT has been huge for helping me get in a bunch of reps. And so, yeah, I've been playing for less than a year at this point, I would say.
Long-time collector, short-time player. No, I definitely understand that. You mentioned you've been playing casually at Lotus Games. How often do you get out, and how many games do you think you get in a week?
At Lotus Games, they've been, up until recently, it was an every other week thing there on Tuesday nights. I try to get there as much as I can, but to be honest, I don't make it there every Tuesday they have it. I probably played 5 or 6 games there this past year. And then they are just now starting to do a Sunday afternoon thing. So hopefully that's going to increase the number of games I can get in at the shop. But mostly I play on TTS, and I would say I probably play anywhere from, let's say, maybe 3 to 4 games a week.
Nice. That's pretty decent, honestly. It's more than I'm playing right now.
Yeah. That's been my... I'm practicing for Everwinter right now, so that's why I've been getting that many in. Normally it's I would say 2 a week.
Will Everwinter be your first tournament, or have you been to other tournaments in your journey so far?
I have been to other tournaments. I went to the firefight at the Lakeside tournament that Tom had over the summer. That was the one and only tournament that I have participated in. So Everwinter will be my second tournament, and it is going to be an eye-opener.
I'm very much looking forward to it. I think right now we have 24 or 25 people signed up last I checked, so it should be quite a good time. I was not able to go to the firefight on the lake, but I heard it was a good time. anything you specifically learned at your first tournament there over the summer?
Yeah, I hate the concept of doing this, but you have to make sure that your opponent is not slowing you down because in my third game, I didn't do very well in that tournament regardless, but in my third game, I think I was poised to win, but I was behind going into the third turning point. We did not get to finish our third turning point, and I'm pretty sure I would have had the game if we had gone to the end of it. Um, but things were moving really slowly, and we ended up having to call it. And because of that, the score at the end of that game was not in my favor. Um, it ended up working out because I got the Smoking Boots Award and I got a gift certificate to Lotus Games as a result of coming in last. But it would have felt nice not to come in last, and I think that I would have potentially not done that if I had finished that game. So going into Everwinter, I don't want to, but I feel like I have to stay on top of my opponent if they're taking too long making decisions and stuff.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with being like chess clock. And they'll be like, "What do you mean?" And you'll say chess clock, and they'll be like, "I don't know what that is." And you'll just say it a third time, chess clock, and then you call Will over and he'll give you one, and it's great.
Yeah. To be clear, like my opponent in that game, I love the guy. I'm not gonna name names, but like he's
Yeah.
awesome. We play each other pretty regularly on TTS, and I think because of that, I just had a super casual mindset during the game, and before I realized our time was up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't like a problematic thing or my opponent being an issue or anything. It was a great game. I just was not paying attention to the time, and I think that is something I have to keep in mind.
It's another element of the game, right? You don't think of time being a resource, but it is. Just like when you start playing Magic, you don't think of life as a resource, but it is, right? Like, you know, it's just
Yeah, 100%. Yep. I have learned that life is a resource now from my friends who like to play black magic.
Is there a specific team that you've been maining since you started playing, or have you jumped around some across various teams?
I've done a lot of jumping around. I have big time kill team ADD, and I have a really hard time focusing on just one because after like a couple matches, I just want to do something different. Um, I have found that that has been to my detriment because the best advice from the best players I know is just to pick one and to learn that team through and through before you move on to others. Um, and I have not done that, but that's what I'm trying to do right now with the stealth suits. The teams that I've played mostly before these guys are Rekka Crew, Aqualons, and Felgor Ravagers.
Is there an aspect of the game that you feel you are getting relatively good at, or that you're proud of?
That's a tough thing to answer. I think overall, what I'm improving at right now is when I started playing the game, I was almost annoyed by the fact that I even had to focus on the crit op and the kill and the attack op. I come from a background of playing a fair amount of Infinity, and in the Infinity tabletop game, I play the JSA, which is a very shooty, very fighty team. They're very scary, and I have had a lot of success in Infinity just tabling my opponent, and that's I love doing that. It's just like a great feeling when you kill everything on the other side of the table. Um, so when I started playing Kill Team heavily, I was just like, I'm just gonna table people. I'm just gonna focus on tabling them, and that's just no good. You don't do very well. There were just so many games when I was brand new to Kill Team where I would kill a bajillion models, but only end up with 4 or 5 points because I'd only focused on the kill op, and my opponent might be near tabled, but they've scored 16 points in the process, right?
Yep.
So that got old relatively quickly, and now I'm learning to focus more on the other aspects of the game, and I'm enjoying those aspects more than I used to because I'm getting better at them.
Yeah. The incremental growth is really a big deal for Kill Team, where you start focusing on different parts of the game to improve on. And it's such a complex game that sometimes you can't improve on everything all at once. You have to pick that one area. What do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned in the last month? And it could be to the stealth suit team that you're learning.
I think what I'm learning though is the depth at which people do tactical analysis on this game. People really study their teams and they really study the tac ops, and I think that there's a lot of players who are probably even just studying maps, you know? Um, and
Absolutely.
I think that that's something that I've learned the extent of, and I'm now trying to invest my own time in just studying, not just getting reps in, but just reading my rules. Potentially, just like there's been times where I've gone on to TTS by myself lately and just like thrown some models onto the table just to see what I could do with them, where they are. Um, so yeah, I think what I've learned, the thing I've learned over the past month would probably be to have success in a competitive environment. There's a significant amount more studying and research involved than I had previously thought.
That's a really like meta level lesson to learn. So it's just like, oh, I learned that positioning is important. No, you're learning like a deeper level of the game. That's cool. There are many deeper levels. So, what my next question sort of flows right into that. Is there any aspect of the levels of the game or any aspect of the game that is still eluding you that you are trying to get to or improve up to?
Yes, especially with the suits. I am finding that I need to study the tac ops more, and I need to study how they work on different maps. Um, and I think if I'm able to do that, I'll reach like the next kind of level, because I'll have much more. I'll be making smarter decisions as opposed to just right now. Everyone's saying to take this tac op, so I'm taking it. Right? If I can reach that decision on my own and understand why I've made that decision on which map, I think I'm going to be that much better.
Awesome. Before we started the interview, you and I were talking about that, and yeah, tac op matching to map or situation is in itself another one of those skills that's a part of the game.
Yeah. Like I forgot to say, like it's not just the map. Like based on the team my opponent is taking, do I take retrieve? Do I take scout? Do I take trap? Um, those are questions I never really asked myself before or recently. And the more I ask them, the more I think about that stuff, the better I do.
Yeah. Amen. Are there any specific folks or people who have been really supportive of your play or pushed you to improve your play in the community since you've started out?
Oh man, too many to mention by name. The New England Kill Team Discord's awesome. I mean, everybody on here is great. Uh, I don't want to mention names in case I risk forgetting someone that's been equally as helpful as the rest, and there's so many of them. So I would say pull a name out of the hat when you're looking at our Discord list here, and that person has probably helped me several times.
It does take a village, and I think it's really awesome that we do have such a strong community here as a part of the Discord. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call out John by name because John was the person who sort of got me out of my shell. He mentioned to me that he was running the local kill team event at Lotus. He's the reason I went that first time. Subsequently, I joined the NEKT Discord because of that. I'll throw that out as a little thank you to John for sort of opening the door for me. He's a great guy. He's very selfless. I mean, he shows up every single time he has the event, and he will sit there the whole time if there's no one else for him to play, just so that other people can get games in and enjoy it. So he's a very important member of our community.
It's almost like every shop has that one guy, right? It's Crispy at the Battle Standard. I've tried to be that guy for the Mana Crypt in my local area. Jesse is that guy at the Norton Battleground, right? Like every shop has their one guy, and they're important to the scene, and they're very important to the community. On the flip side of that, have you had any specific hobby nightmare or any bad experiences with a player?
Hobby nightmares. Let's see. Thankfully, I don't even want to say this because now I'm going to go to paint my stealth suits and something's going to go wrong. But no, I haven't had any hobby nightmares. Um, and then the only thing I would say about like playing against other people is, um, not, I mean, no, not really. Like I think I've had pretty much all good games. I mean, there's been a couple of times where I've played games against people and I've asked questions about the rules and maybe gotten a little bit more of an intense response response than I anticipated, but um, nothing that would prevent me from continuing to play and to seek new opponents and all that stuff. Again, our community is full of so many good people that want to make sure you're having fun at the same time as they're having fun. Um, I don't really think that that's something that we have to worry about here, thankfully.
No, we're lucky. I mean, I've been guilty of it. We have some salty players. I've gotten a little pissy when the dice are screwing me every time. But I think we're really good in that. You hear about like right like there's an entire channel, Hobby Nightmares, about terrible things that happen for people's hobby and in their competitive play. And I think we have some strongly competitive people and people who sweat a little bit on the board and want to win, but I don't think we have any malicious players, and that goes a very long way. Like it really does.
Yep, I agree.
But is there anything in the next like 6 months of Kill Team that you're specifically looking forward to? The new box, an event that comes out, anything that you're sort of jazzed about?
I'm super excited about Everwinter. I am very psyched to do my first like big boy tournament. Um, I I'm feeling a little bit indecisive about whether or not I still want to bring the stealth suits. I think I mostly want at this point. I think I mostly want to bring the stealth suits so that I don't feel like I'm a quitter. Um, the problem is that I'm just not sure that in that competitive of a setting that I'm going to really have much of a chance to pull out a win. And my goal when I signed up for the tournament was just win one game. That's all. That's just try to win one game. I don't even know if that's going to be within my reach with these guys, but tonight I played better against Jesse than I ever have with them, and I still lost, but I'm improving steadily. So I got a couple weeks left. So we'll see. But yeah, Everwinter I think is what I'm looking forward to most. Thankfully, I'm not actually that amped up about any of the upcoming Kill Team releases because I'm kind of sick and tired of buying every single Kill Team that comes. I need to just focus on one for a bit. And I'm not really. I think that they're really cool looking, but I'm not really like looking for any of the teams in the Murder Wing set.
Yep.
I was excited for a sisters team, but I wanted them to be like classic sisters with bolters, and that is not the team, and so I don't really think I'm super attracted to it. Um, so yeah, I think thankfully I have like a nice break from spending money on GW products for a while.
I am also super excited about Everwinter. I did Ironweld over the summer. That was my first 2-day GT. I didn't do great. I went 1-4 with Nemesis Claw. You've been playing a while, especially getting more experience with the game system, and I think that winning one game would be a very attainable goal for you, Tucker. Right? Like that's a fine incremental goal to set for yourself. Right? Like
I haven't changed it yet, so
yeah.
that's still the goal for now.
And I only have one more question for you, and then I'll let you get about your evening. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it. Now that you're into your new player journey, you're going to your first GT here. What one piece of advice would you give to that dude who hasn't bought any plastic yet, who might go through Lotus Games and be like, "Yo, what are you playing over there? What's this game, Kill Team?" What bit of advice would you tell that player to get into Kill Team?
Oh man, there's too much. There's too much advice. There's so many things I would want to tell a new person. Probably don't do what I did and don't switch back and forth between a bunch of teams while you're trying to learn the game because you're just going to make the game seem way more challenging than it actually is. Because there is so much to it. I mean, even with a 5 operative team, there are just so many different ways that those 5 operatives can interact with the board depending on the mission, depending on the map, depending on the opponent. That you really need to focus on one for a while if you want to get good. I would also say though, don't have your priority be getting good. Just try to have fun. I did not make this mistake, thankfully, when I was new, so I didn't like come onto the scene and just be like, I need to win games, and I'm not winning games, so I'm miserable. I just wanted to have fun, and if you find the right community and you find the right opponents to play against, even when you get completely crushed, you're still gonna have a good time. So focus on that. Focus on finding the community, finding the people you like to play against, and finding a team that you really enjoy, and then just main that and play against those guys as much as you possibly can, and you'll have a good time.
Don't do what I do. Don't chase meta because it makes you soulless inside.
Don't chase meta. Chase the team that plays the way that you would.
Oh, absolutely. And the better you get with the team, you're going to see the max and minning that you can do to increase your own play, right? You learn that just with familiarity.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Tucker, for coming on this evening. I really appreciate you being a part of Kill Team Public Radio, and hope to have you on in the future.
I'm honored that you asked me to join.
It takes a village, man. We're all part of the New England Kill Team. By now, the cat is very much out of the bag. My next interview is with the winner of Everwinter, Calum. And a big shout out to him for not only winning the tournament, but also doing so with a lot of humility and grace. His sportsmanship was really on point. Listen up for our interview. Hello, everyone. This is Kurt from KTPR. I'm here reporting on the Everwinter tournament that happened in early December for the New England Kill Team community. I'm here with our winner of the tournament, and I'll let you introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Calum McEwen. Play out of the Battle Standard in Connecticut, and at Everwinter, I was playing Blaze of Cain, and that's my team. Love them. Play Blaze of Cain.
Yeah, no, you've been going strong at least 10 months, almost a year on the same team. And as they say, you play one team and you get really good with it.
Yeah, it's paid off. It's definitely a team with a lot of depth, and I feel like it took me a long time to really get a handle on how to play them. And honestly, I'm at well over 100 games with this team, and still feel like I'm learning new ways to play tac ups, crit ops, loadouts to take or try. There's just a lot of depth to them. That's one of the main things I enjoy about the team.
And the game designers keep it fresh, right? We just halfway through the year, we changed tac ops, and you had to relearn everything, basically, or at least relearn
Yep.
how you score. When you because I know you were doing a lot of playing games and training for the team tournament, so you were kind of doing some active training before Everwinter. When you went into that
Yep.
tournament, we talk a lot in Kill Team about having realistic expectations. What was your realistic expectation? You are a pretty good player, you're top in sort of the New England community. So what was your expectation going into a big GT like that?
Yeah, probably higher than it should have been for my own enjoyment of the event. I kind of went to Everwinter looking to at least podium, which is not how I kind of have approached events in the past. But I felt like I've been doing pretty well with Blitzkane, coming off the back of the Standish standoff up in Maine there with the team win that we got there, a couple other local tournament wins. It's like, all right, I think this is time to try and pick up a GT. So yeah, it paid off, but definitely weird experience. I'm not, I'm a competitive player. I enjoy the competitive side of Kill Team, but I typically approach events that just, we'll go all play well and we'll see what happens. And
And
in this,
even
I was like, I'm looking to, win or at least podium in this event. So different.
that is different. I mean, that's a really ambitious goal, and I have to say, we've probably played, I don't know, between 10 and 20 games together, and you're definitely a humble player. You've beaten me almost all of them, but it's I learn something every time I play you. So that's really ambitious of you, and congratulations on your win. That is a really big deal to
Yeah,
come in
thanks,
first.
man. I think I was thinking about it after the event, and I think it's because I turned down the golden ticket at New York Open, and I was like, this is a chance to get that, and then we'll see. Like then for the rest of the year, I don't have to worry about it. So I kind of wanted to win for that. Cool. Like one of my kind of goals of playing Kill Team, I'd like to go to Worlds. I'd like to experience that. I went to New York Open just being like, oh, I'm gonna go and enjoy a big tournament, and got offered the golden ticket, turned it down because I could not make that work with my schedule at the time. So I'm going into this year thinking, all right, well, I I've seen it. I've had the opportunity and passed it over, and part of me after I passed up that ticket was like, well, what if I never get the chance again? Then I'm going to be really mad that I said no to that. So this is a good opportunity. Now we don't know. I haven't heard from Will about whether or not Everwinter actually ended up getting awarded it, but I felt like it was an opportunity to do that. So
And knock on wood and fingers crossed for you that that the golden ticket comes through. Thinking back to Everwinter, who was your best opponent? The best opponent you played, best sportsman you think overall?
oh God, dude, that's a terrible question because I played 5 excellent games against excellent players. Um, really, everybody I played against was really, I think Silas out of Vermont, he's an incredible player. He's so good with Jaegers. Um, and it's he's cool. We've kind of interacted quite a few times now. He was at the team tournament. He's down at New York Open. Played him. That was the second time playing him. It is not easy. So good with that team. Um, did I play my second game? God, it's that long ago now.
Yeah, it was about a month,
I
but I
played
think it was Zach. Was it Zach your second game? Elf on Elf violence?
No, that was the end of the first day.
Oh, okay, that was the end of the first day. Yeah.
Oh, Will Abston.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Super cool guy. That was a really fun game. He's a really fun opponent. I don't know if you played him before, or maybe you played him on TTS.
Yeah, I play him on TTS. He's a really decent
Yeah,
dude.
he's a
Very
cool guy. I
instructive.
liked his exaction squad, and they're all like kind of disco themed party boys. He's good vibes. He was and a really strong player. And then I played Zach. Played the mirror match. Um, I played Zach before. He's an excellent player. Mirror match with Blaze Kane. That was my first time playing that. That's a weird one. I don't want to have to play it again. I feel like it's
No more
become
of that.
very dice dependent, you know. Uh, and then Zach playing Rattlings. That was an excellent game. Uh, he's super good with Rattlings. Really humble player. Very down to earth guy. But that's my second time playing him as well, and that's always been fun.
He was my
And
last game of the tournament, and I lost by
he
three
was
or four. Yeah, and
dude. He's so good with the Rattlings. Like,
his board control is unparalleled because they take the silent
yep.
shots, so you can never shoot back, and it's really amazing.
Yeah. I had a Dire Avenger just kind of hanging out, taking silent, obscure shots for a couple of rounds of shooting against him. I was like, God, if I couldn't get this obscure position here, he would have shut down that whole room. Um, the way he was positioned, so his positioning is excellent.
Yeah,
Um, he's he's a cool guy. He's always been fun to play against. But I think my last game against Mike Lorino, I gotta say that I really enjoy playing Mike. He is an excellent player as well. Here's the thing: I played 5 excellent players, and I think the depth of quality play at Everwinter was really astounding.
yeah.
The level of competitive play that people are producing here in New England right now, it's quite something to see.
And Mike played the stealth suits. I think he was the only entry for
Played
that
the
team.
stealth suits, man. Played the stealth suits. Played them really well. He went in there. Yeah, I think having played like 2 games with the stealth suits before, and just like I think inherently understands how to play the team. Um, but if you've met him, right, Kurt?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we met at the
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah. He's just a really nice guy. I've played him a few times, and I've always enjoyed playing games against him. And if you haven't played stealth suits before, don't believe the talking heads. They've got legs. That team can really shut you down.
Did right.
When piloted right, when you're doing stuff like, well, I can just stand out in the open and do stuff. I don't even need to worry about cover
Yeah,
because you've got to get within 3. And typically, if you can get within 3, it's a game of millimeters a lot of the time, but you can get within 2 as well, right?
exactly.
So Mike plays them in a really interesting way where he's kind of not even looking to stage up behind cover. It kind of flips the whole way you think about playing kill team.
Because he can stage
He's
wherever.
got he's got all these guys standing out in the open, and you're like, God, I feel like I have all these options here, and I have none.
I can't make a single shot. Oh well.
Yep, yep. And then pairing up the kind of synchronizing the operatives. that need to be together. Yeah, yeah. So that was a really fun game though as well. I think that was big shout out to Mike. If I had to choose, there you go.
If you had to choose, Mike would be your best opponent. No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
man.
twist my arm. Yeah, that was really fun.
And this might be a very similar question, but you know, as you said, the competitive nature of Everwinter was really high. We had a lot of really good players. I mean, you're a top 10 or 15. I think you're top 10 now, Blades of Kane ITC. Zach is a top 10 player. Silas is like top 25 for his team and didn't play. He's a top 10 player. So we have a lot of really skilled players. What was the hardest match you played at Everwinter out of the 5? Like, what do you think was
first
the most
game against
difficult?
Silas?
Really?
My
Okay.
first game against Silas. Yeah, yeah. He's got my number, man. Honestly, yeah, he should have won that game, and we went to time, and it felt like that. You know, that was kind of a feels bad for both of us. Yeah, yeah. We got the dice down. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, Silas, because I definitely, yeah, you know, I won by 1 point because of the point we were at with the dice down.
Right, of course. And if you're playing attack up that you need to score at the end of the game or something, there's lost points here and there. Yeah, of course.
Yes, yes. We were actually both playing Steel Intelligence. And I think I legitimately, in my last activation, just picked up an intelligence marker that he was probably going to be able to make me drop and then take off of that operative.
Right,
If
because you
he
could get
played
the kill.
out you know, though I think we had like 4 or 5 activations left in the game.
That's a hard way to start the tournament too, with a death clock. It is now over, right? Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a big one for me. I told myself going into that you know, typically I play pretty fast. You and I play enough, you know.
oh yeah,
I play pretty quickly, and I was like, I need to really slow down and think things through and like take my time with every move. And I struggled with feeling the pressure of the clock is not something I'm used to. I think almost everyone I was like an hour and 50, 2 hours, right? Like real close with the time. Um,
oh,
so with
it's
that, I mean, just to go back to the way Silas plays Jaegers, I think one I know he plays against Milton a lot, so he's playing, you know, really high caliber plays a game player on the regular, and it shows. He's got this, yeah, using the mines and stacking the operatives that have like the silent to kind of prevent you being able to charge with their shoot into an operative that's just charged ploy. The sniper being able to kind of sit and control a room with that and staging everybody at the right distances that you just feel like you have no options than to kind of wait for him to make a mistake, and that's not what he's going to do.
and he's got the ploy where he halves the first hit, so you can't reliably kill in one activation.
Yep,
That's
yep, yep. That really it's hard for Blades Kane. That ploy is pretty rough because it takes your shuriken pistols with the rending ceaseless, and you're looking to proc, you know, 2 crits, 2 hits would be ideal. But 2 crits and a hit, that seems to be about the average with that shooting ploy. Um, and then they're saving on 4s. They're going to save 1, maybe 2, and so potentially you're looking at just doing like 2 damage on a shooting action against them.
And that's just not enough. You need more chip.
And it's just not enough because they're going to run back up to you with their 4/4 shotguns and melt your face.
Bye bye, Elf. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so it feels very like you have to really think about where you want to sort of probe for any weaknesses in this defensive line. And he just has it set up perfectly. Had it set up perfectly in that game. And we went in turning point 4. I'm like, I've lost this game. I can see that I'm behind on points, and I've got to just like really go for it here and hope that I get good dice. Yeah, I got pretty lucky on some like aggressive plays where I just rolled really well, and then go into time, right? I got pretty, yeah, pretty lucky on some of the plays I made though. Like really, like, you know, one miss on one of them, and I would have lost the game again, right? Even
Right.
with going to times.
Right, because that one.
Yeah, that was definitely the hardest game.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Is he? Do you know if he's going to Succotash?
I don't think he signed up, but I know he's going to do scrap for the strap. And between
Yep.
scrap and Ironweld, I think I might go to Burlington this year to see Milton and hang out with those folk. Like I think
I'm gonna go.
that's the better
I
tournament
will
out of the two.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I
I'll
really.
probably go both.
You'll probably go to both. Yeah, no. You become
I'll
a
probably go
junkie
to
for it,
both.
man. You're chasing your ITC score. You want to stay in that top 10. You're like.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Well, maybe
um,
maybe a little bit, just so I have something to show my wife. You know, be like, hey, look, like I know I spend all this time going to kill team tournaments, but like
this is why, okay?
I'm at
Like
least doing
here
all
it is.
right. You know. Like,
I'm not like my buddy Kurt who loses. It's okay.
no, man. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, I feel like for me at Everwinter, I got a little too focused on winning, and it was a different experience for an event for me.
Interesting. You had like a mindset shift that way, where the
Yep.
competition demons sort of took over.
Yeah, I feel like I felt anxious about each game, which is not an experience that I've had before. I'm usually like, well, we'll just, let's see what happens. It's a dice game, right? You don't have that much control at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's too much variability,
You're like,
of course.
yeah, like you got, I don't know, 80, 90% control over the outcome of the game, but there's definitely that unknown factor you just can't influence.
Sort of speaking of that, like that sort of mindset of competitive nature and stuff. We like, after every game we check our scores, we see where the standings are. It's like just sort of inherent to the tournament scene, right? I've seen it
Yep.
in the chess tournaments. I see it in these tournaments. Where was like the moment, the tipping point you knew you were going to podium, right? I've made my goal. Was that at game 4 after Zach? Was that before you game?
Game 4, I knew I would podium.
Nice. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, because I had 4 wins.
Yeah.
And actually, even then, I felt like I could or probably would podium. I don't think it was guaranteed because we had a lot of people on 4-1 at the end.
Yes, we did. No, again, highly skilled
Yep.
tournament. People were doing awesome.
Yeah, a lot of 4-1, and I wasn't scoring points particularly well. It's just sometimes it's not something you can control too much. In terms of your matchup, like I played Jaegers and then Exaction Squad, which are two teams that are very good at denying you points.
Part of the big GTs for me is, of course, the competitive nature, getting 5 games in, getting that practice beforehand. But it's also the social environment, right? I got to go to a lot of meals with a lot of cool folks. What was your favorite off table experience of Everwinter?
That's a good question. Well, I actually, I think just talking to everybody that I see or have played against at previous events, and kind of realizing like like how many we had like 30 players,
Yeah, I think we had 26, 24, something like that.
26. I think out of that there's maybe like 3 people there that I haven't played in the past,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I
Because
knew
there was
all
the guy.
5 of my players, all 5 of my opponents.
Yeah, right, right.
I'd never played
Oh,
Jeff
yeah,
before,
for
but I
people.
knew who Jeff was, right? I knew all
Yep,
5.
yeah, I've seen Jeff around. I've never played Jesse, but I've met so like I feel like I knew almost everybody there. It was kind of cool to see like all the various kind of kill team diasporas around New England get together and everybody kind of talking shop and hanging out. Uh,
I mean, that's really how we build and maintain our own little kill team communities, right? We have our local shop, and then we
yep.
have the Discord to reach larger people, and then we actually get to see these people that we just chat with on the internet in person, and it really helps build those circles within circles, and it expands. It really does expand the
Yeah,
community.
like I'm psyched for Soccer Tash, man. It's gonna be so much fun. Like I
40
think there's
people is crazy.
37. Yeah, right. 37 people signed up right now. Hopefully we get to 40. I'd love to see that.
At
Uh,
37, I think it's 75 or 80% more people than Everwinter, which is really crazy. It's saying
right.
something, right? Like
Yep.
people,
Yep.
like classification be damned. People want to play they plastic they have. They don't want to play, Canoptic or Deathwatch. There's a whole like
Yeah.
mentality shift behind this tournament that I don't know. I'm planning to make a video about it just because I find it really fascinating, right? There's like a whole like almost kill team rebellion against the competitive tournament play with this other format to reduce the meta.
Yep. Shift the meta, right?
Yes, exactly. Shift the meta. Yeah,
Right, or shift it or reset it, or just like to kind of take that out of the equation.
This is something I think about because I'm always trying to learn new tricks and tips about gameplay. Over your games at Everwinter, did you have like a moment where you could say like, this was a very cool thing I do with my elves I want to share, like a tactics time of this interaction with a scorpion or something with a howling banshee?
I'll give you I think I used it in 3 of the games that I played. And it's one of my favorite tactics with the striking scorpions that I think it's pretty hard unless it's happened to you before for your opponent to anticipate this. The scorpions can do it's the aspect technique where they reposition through somebody's control range.
Oh yeah.
And they do D3 plus 2 damage. So you do that on conceal, and you can really have quite a long threat range on that as well. If there's an open door somewhere, you can dash, reposition, make it so that you just kind of move through the operative on the other side of the door's control range a little bit, move out of that control range, but into control range of the door so that you're touching the door frame. Then hatchway fight on conceal again. So you've done D3 plus 2 damage. Then you do another 2 damage before you roll dice. Manda blasters. So you're like a minimum. You've done 5 damage before you roll dice. So you've resolved a critical success before you even start rolling. So yeah, so you can do the patient stoic sudden blow, move through the control range of an enemy operative. You have to do that on conceal, and you can't end the move in control range as well. Then you can inflict D3 plus 2 damage. Then you hatchway fight. You do another 2 damage, and then hopefully you roll 1 crit. You've got rending on the chain swords, so crit and 2 hits, and you're going to be able to take down everything apart from Raveners and Canoptic bugs, and maybe the Wolf Scout leader.
Well, you'll kill him the first time.
You'll kill him the first time, and then he'll do D3 plus 1 damage to you, and you'll be dead. Yeah, but it's very good.
And now for something completely different.
I honestly think the power creep started with the Rekka box. Like, if you look back at the year, we had Cunning and Brutal, and the Rekkas are now underpowered compared to what's come after it, but I think that's where it started, was with the Rekka box, and then Blood and Zeal was just way overtuned when it was first released, and Tomb World was way overtuned when it was first released. The only realistic box we've gotten was Typhoon with the Battleclade, which I still think is in an insane team if someone pilots it right. So...
They're good. I played Brian at the last tournament. We had the battle standard there, and dude, he's a pretty good pilot with Battleclade.
Yeah, I played him once on TTS, and it was early in his learning, and I assume he's only gotten better because it wasn't like a hugely diverse game. It was close. Those shits can blow up a spider tank. Like, whoa. Like, they get the arc rifle into it, the piercing 1 or whatever it is. Yeah. He can force
network counteract to shoot again.
Correct.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that is straight up an even trade. 1 big gun for a spider tank, done, easy peasy.
Yeah, that's a great trade. Plus, they'll just use you for parts later. So
correct. Yeah.
You had that servitor's gonna be walking around with a dimensional banishment gun on his shoulder. That would be a cool format. All right.
You get to salvage whatever you kill. I'll take that power sword.
Yeah, like a crusade style, like Kill Team League, where you can take like a ploy or a weapon profile from an opponent if you win the matchup.
Wild, really
we'll get
fast.
hella imbalanced, but it could be fun.
Yeah, it'd get really wild.
So Chris, if you're listening, wink wink.
Well, I don't want to take up your whole day, but thank you, dude, so much for chatting with me. Thank you so much, Calum, for coming on today to KTPR. I really appreciate you, and excellent win for Everwinter. It was nice seeing you there, man, and thank you so much. Always appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Always a pleasure, and I'll see you in the trenches.
Kurt reporting from the trenches. Yeah, you will see me in the trenches. Next up, we have some specific hot takes that I reported live from the day of the event. I was able to talk with players both on Saturday and Sunday to do a quick 3-question game. Shout out to Just Another Kill Team podcast for pioneering some of this work at Worlds. I really like the content and so replicated it here. I hope you enjoy these hot takes. I was able to interview about half of the 24 contestants that we had at Everwinter. I'm here with Zach at Everwinter. Zach, what team did you bring and what's your local shop, man?
Playing Rattlings this weekend. Local shop is Midgard up in Derry, New Hampshire.
And how you doing with Rattlings so far?
It's pretty good. 3-1 at the end of at the end of round 4. So pretty well. Better than I thought.
Nice, awesome. What's the best hobby you've seen this weekend?
The best hobby? Oh, somebody's got a great Tyranid board out with Hernkin, with the Jaegers on it. It's so well done. Just really, really beautiful work there.
Awesome. And what's your hot take for Kill Team?
Hot take for Kill Team for the week. Just stop playing elites. Everyone, stop playing elites. Just do something else. Just once. What is there? 24 of us here, like 18 elite teams. Just stop.
Thanks, man. Good luck in your last round.
Thanks. You too.
I'm here with Alex at Everwinter. Alex, what team did you play today, and what's your local shop?
I brought Tempest Aquilons, and my local shop is Battlegrounds in Norton.
Sweet, man. And what's the best hobby you've seen this weekend?
Oh, my favorite one that I've seen so far is, honestly, probably the Rattlings. The really clean paint, but a really fun one is I call them the Cheeto Rekka Crew. They did a slap chop, orange and yellow. It came out really nice.
Oh, the Magma Orcs, the lava guys. Yeah, no, those are really nice. And last question is, what is your hot take for Kill Team for the weekend?
Stealth suits aren't as bad as people make them out to be.
That's the second time I've heard that, so yeah.
They kind of just do their own thing, and you don't get to stop them from doing it.
Because you can't see them.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck in your last round.
Thank you. You too.
I'm here with Chris at Everwinter. How you doing, Chris?
Good. How's it going?
Going well. I got a few questions for you. What team did you bring, and where's your local shop you play at?
I'm out of the Battle Standard in East Windsor, Connecticut, and I am playing Jaegers today. To limited success.
Yeah, that was a tight game we just had.
Oh, good game, yeah.
What's the best hobby you've seen so far this weekend?
There's a guy upstairs who did a Sigmar fighter jet diorama that's interactive, so he's got a joystick and you can fire off LEDs across. It's sick. You should go up and check it out. Yeah,
I will
that's
have
very
to see
cool.
that.
Yeah,
that's incredible hobby.
Yeah, sick.
And last question is, what's your hot take for Kill Team?
So my hot take for Kill Team is that list building is generally bad for the game, and that the game would be better served by tighter list building, more restricted. I think people would have an easier time knowing all the teams, and it would be easier to balance all the teams. I think it'd just be more fun for, generally speaking.
Out of the box, assemble models, play models.
For the most part, some choices here or there is good, but yeah, I think the modular Legionnaires builds of the past is not necessarily helping.
Well, good luck in your last round, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Kurt from KTPR. I'm here with Dom at Everwinter. I got quick questions for you, sir. What are you playing, and where do you normally play?
I am playing Deathwatch today, and normally I play up in Norton, Mass. At Battleground.
Sweet. And what's the best hobby you've seen or best opponent for the weekend?
Chris L. Definitely. That diorama for Raveners is nuts.
Because he's got two teams on it.
Oh yeah, he's got the Raveners and he's got the Jaegers, and both teams are painted up amazingly. And then he also has all of the other Tyranids on it, and the terrain and everything. It's nuts.
It is nuts. It's
nuts.
Beautiful. Yeah. And what's your hot take for Kill Team from this weekend?
Ooh, my hot take for Kill Team from this weekend is my dice need to go in a hot take. They need to go into a kiln and be melted down and repurposed into the trash that they are. That's my hot take for this weekend.
Thanks, Good luck in the last game.
Thank you, man. You too.
Kurt from KTPR with Jesse at Everwinter. Jesse, who are you playing today, and what's your home store?
Hi, I am playing Deathwatch today. I am a meta trash chaser. We're 4 games in. Yesterday I was technically undefeated, which is going to be what I'm going to hold in my heart. I'm going to hang my hat on that. Yesterday I had 1 win and 2 ties. And then today I started by going into Mike and his stealth suit and I walked into the trap and took the L. It was still a pretty close game, 16-13 when we were done, but it was... The thing that's I'm going to chew on for the rest of the weekend is seeing the trap, going, hey, that's a trap, and walking into the trap. I had a fantastic game, though. Mike's a great competitor. I learned a lot. I would do very little differently with that matchup. I would just maybe not step in it.
Best hobby you've seen this weekend?
Oh, best hobby I've seen this weekend. Team-wise, like models I have seen on the board, best-looking team I have seen thus far, probably their Zach's Ratlings are gorgeous. The skin tones, the detail, magnificent. But Chris Lewis brought a display board that is literally his Raveners and his Salvagers on one board. Not Salvagers, his Jaeger on one board, and it is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Sweet. Hot take, don't step in the trap.
Hot take, don't step in the trap. If you see the stinky thing, don't step in the stinky thing.
Sweet, thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, Kurt. Take care, man.
I'm here at Everwinter with John. We just finished up the tournament, and I got a couple questions for you, my friend. Number one, what did you bring, and where do you normally play?
I brought Chaos Cult. I normally play Pathfinders and Vespids, but I've dabbled in Chaos Cult, and I decided to go all in with them this time. They're an awesome team. I finally like them. I used to not like them, and now I love them, and now I love them even more. So I guess it's very cultish of me in some ways.
You got your cult leader T-shirt on, which is great.
Yeah, I have 2 cult T-shirts, so that's twice as many nerd shirts as most people, which I'm pretty proud of, actually.
And the cat is out of the bag because Chris won Best Hobby. But what was the best hobby you saw this weekend, either from Kill Team or elsewhere in the convention?
Oh, geez, the best hobby. I mean, I love Chris's colors, the way he uses them. So there's this, if you go up in the hobby room in the Wicked Brush, there's this guy who brought a ship, like a nautical ship, and that thing was sick. He painted wood grains on his, like, whatever the top railings are. And I was talking about the game, he's like, yeah, no one really plays because no one wants to play this as a historical thing, but he says the best game system he knows. And imagine just broadsiding people with muskets or, like, charging onto their ship with ropes. It was pretty badass, but the model was so awesome. And he had individually painted dudes, too.
That must have taken 100 hours, like, at least.
Yeah. He probably spent like 100 hours on the ship alone, and all the dudes were like perfectly painted too, and crisp and highlighted and glazed and everything. It was great.
And last question is, what is your hot take from Kill Team for the weekend?
You know, my hot take is that I think Kill Team actually has a problem, and this is like a hot take. This is going to make the TikTok reels or whatever. Kill Team, everyone's getting so much better at Kill Team that we're stomping all the casual people. I think there's this huge skill ceiling that goes really, really high, and we have to figure out ways to have an active community, but also invite new players somehow. And you can't get tournament prep in because you're just going to roll everyone. So I think we all need to have our A team and our B team
and our CC team.
And our C team, because like someone new comes in, you're not like, I'm going to take the Chaos Cult that I have 30 reps in with GT level players. Like, you can't do that, or people are going to have a bad time. So I think we have to really be conscious of this. And I don't know if it's a game design thing. I don't want to like rant about bad game design, but I think it is an evolving problem with Kill Team that we just didn't see until being a year into this like grind.
And it's really a player problem, right? We have to have the self-restraint not to just go Necron and
And like teaching people with like your A team, or like even if they're like, I want a competitive game, and you just like stomp them. Like, I mean, we have to be like cognizant that like it takes you a while not to learn not to lose a Kill Team, and until you learn that, like there's learning not to lose, but we're learning how to win at this point. So there's a huge gap between that. So.
No, thank you for your hot take, and man, thank you so much. You have a great week.
You too, Kurt. Hey, Miles. Sorry.
Kurt here with KTPR. I got Justin here from the main team. We're at Everwinter, and I'm gonna ask him a couple questions for the on-site interview. Justin, what team you playing, and what's your local shop?
So I'm playing the Raveners for this tournament, and then my local shop is Phyrexian Life Games out of Scarborough, up in Maine. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best hobby or best opponent you've had so far?
Man, all my games so far have been really, really good. I had a lot of fun playing Beta Desma into Chris, but I know that is like hard mode for Raveners and stuff like that because of the lack of tunnel. But that did well. James also played really well with his Legionaries. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Like, best game was probably best game. The bloodiest game I had was probably against the Wolf Scouts today, and that was we were down to both left with one dude left on the board. So like, and I think we were both at less than 5 health. So it was spicy the whole match. It was great.
And what's your kill team hot take from this tournament?
Blasting Venom Spitters are good.
Blasting Venom Spitters are good. Yeah. Even when they're sitting on 1 health, it's still gnarly.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, bud.
All right, I'm here at Everwinter with Matt from Massachusetts. He was in the top 5 of Canoptic. Way to go, man. And my first question is normally, what do you bring and where do you play? But I just let it out of the bag. So where do you normally play?
Yeah, so I play at a shop in Belmont called the Squabbling Goblin. We've got like a pretty like small, not super aggressive competitive scene. They do like a quarterly tournament, but it's very fun, very chill, and it's a really good shop. It's a shop that doesn't like do card games, which is like kind of wild.
That's rare.
Yes. But yeah, it's a great spot. The owners are, the staff there are really friendly. It's just sort of been, helping build a community there. It's been great.
And what was the best hobby that you saw this weekend? What'd you think? And that could be in any of the events for the convention.
Oh, I was upstairs and I peeked over into the Trench Crusade room, and they have the best boards. I took like a bunch of photos. Like, oh man, there's like a huge like tank, and there's like this Crusader castle, and there's like Snowpiercer train. I was like, what? Like, I usually feel it's like the Star Wars Legion guys have the best tables, but like the Trench Crusade tables themselves were just like crazy. There was like one board that had this like 3 foot tall like obelisk thing on it. It was wild.
That's awesome. And last question is, what is your hot take for Kill Team from the weekend?
I had a good time. I went 4-1 with Canoptic. I think Canoptic still got legs for sure. I don't know if it needs to be hurt any more than it already has been. I think it's in an okay place. I think maybe I'm playing it a little bit differently than some people are, because I like to shimmy my matrix all over the place and play a little bit more aggressively as opposed to castling up. But there is play for that, and I don't know. I've played a lot of Canoptic the past month or two, and I'm gonna probably bring to my local. I'm gonna bring Jaegers next week just to cleanse the palate a little bit, because I've also seen Jaeger's been doing well too, which is a team I really like and I hobbied really well, but I just don't get to play very often.
It's also a brain break, right? Canoptic's a lot of load.
Oh yeah, yesterday my noodle was cooked.
Well, dude, congratulations, top 5, and thanks for talking to me, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. All right, it's Kurt here with Michael, and we just finished up the Ironweld tournament. Congratulations, second place, Mike. And first question is, what did you bring for teams, and where do you most likely play?
I brought Deathwatch, and where do I mostly play?
Yeah.
I mostly play New Hampshire, Massachusetts is where I usually get to play.
Nice. Yeah. Are you at Midgard at all in New Hampshire?
Midgard's my home store.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. That's right. Zach's up there too. Yeah.
Yep.
And what's the best hobby you saw this weekend?
The best what?
Hobby. What do you think the best hobby is?
As far as
people's paint and the hobby work that they put into their armies.
I don't know. The kid that won painting, I thought had a beautiful setup. He had a beautiful diorama of Jaegers and
the Tyranids.
Yeah. And that was probably my favorite. And I'm a huge fan of paint. I love painting my minis. I love painting my terrain. So I appreciate when someone goes that far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And what is your hot take for Kill Team?
Don't listen to all the podcasters. Figure your own shit out. I didn't realize, and this is no joke, I think you can learn a lot from them. Yep. And I only listened to one except a new guy I'm about to start listening to.
Thanks, man.
But I met a whole bunch of these guys at Worlds, and they're all normal dudes, and we all have opinions. So I think you should learn your own opinions. I think you should take what people tell you and then run from there with it. Don't take everyone's judgments and think that they're absolute. I played Dominate a whole bunch today, or over this weekend, and I did absolutely awesome with it.
And they say don't do Dominate with Deathwatch, and look at you.
And look at me, yeah.
Second place.
Yeah.
I look forward to playing you, man.
I can't wait, my friend. It's been too long.
Yeah. Be well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kurt here with Tucker at Everwinter, doing a quick player interview. Tucker, what'd you bring today, and where do you normally play?
So I brought the Plague Marines to Everwinter, and I normally play at the Lotus Games in Colchester. I play mostly on TTS, on the NEKT Discord, but I do play some games at Lotus in Colchester.
Shout out to NEKT. And what's the best hobby you've seen this weekend over the 2 days?
The best hobby I've seen, huh? Man, that's a tough question. I hadn't even thought about that before going into this, but let me just say, can I just make a shout out to the Stealth Suits player instead?
Yeah, go for
the
it.
most impressive thing I think I've seen this weekend is the performance of the guy who took the Stealth Suits. I'm very proud of him. He took the team I wasn't willing to, and he did really well. Ended up in his last game against Calum. Like, I'm proud of that guy. I think his name's Mike. So.
And what's your hot take for Kill Team?
My hot take for Kill Team, this was my first GT, so I guess I won one game this weekend. I lost 4 games. I guess I would just say to people who are thinking about doing this next year, like, don't come here with grand plans. Like, just come here. I planned to lose every single game coming in here, and so, like, I'm feeling happy leaving. I feel like I won a bunch of learned a bunch of lessons, and I managed to do my one stretch goal, which was win one. So that's my advice to players thinking about coming next year. It's a lot of fun if you just come here to meet the people that you play with regularly and make some new friends and learn some lessons.
Yeah, man. Awesome. And what was your record for the week? Oh, you said 4.
Yep. 4 and 1. Yep.
Awesome. Well, we will play online soon.
Well, no. 1 and 4.
1 and 4.
1 and 4.
One
Yeah,
and
let's
4,
get that
yeah.
clear.
Well, thank you so much, Tucker. And yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks.
I'm here at Everwinter, Kurt, with our buddy Will from Vermont, now Canada. And so I'm gonna ask a couple questions of him, do a quick interview. Hey, Will, what team you playing, and what's your home shop?
I am playing in the Exaction squad right now. My home shop up until recently has been Vermont Gaming Academy in Burlington. I'm now close enough to Montreal. I'll be playing out of Card Brawlers.
Nice. Card Brawler's good. I went up there a couple weeks ago and met some of your folk. Canadian guys are so nice.
Dude,
so nice.
I genuinely love the Quebecois. I'm so close to emigrating.
Second question is, what's the best hobby you've seen this weekend? Who do you think has been hot on the painting?
That's tough.
Yeah,
I think the team that I saw this weekend that I thought was the most impressive, there's some Rekka crew that are like lava. Like, they are just like the models themselves are glowing orange lava. And I'm just like, dude, that's cool.
Magma Orcs.
Yeah, Magma Orcs. Yeah.
Last question is, what's your hot take from Kill Team for the weekend?
My hot take is that the Stealth Suits are not bad. They are actually a team that has a lot of play, and as players explore and perfect their positioning, that team is going to get very scary.
Nice. That's a good take.
Yeah.
Thanks, Will.
Yes, sir.
Dude, good luck in your last game.
Thanks, man. Have a good one, Kurt.
The next segment of our show is a really fascinating conversation I had with one of our 2 judges. We covered fair play, why he got into wanting to be a TO, and some of the really interesting rule interactions that occurred during Ironweld. Here we go. Hello, listeners. This is Kurt from KTPR. I caught up with one of the judges from Everwinter tournament that just happened in Boston this past weekend. We're going to be talking about fair play and his perspective as a judge. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Eli. I used to play a ton of AOD, but these days I've been playing more Harnkin Jaegers and Vespids, and joined that 10-op team and funny shenanigans with them. I'm a bit of a Kill Team nomad right now. I don't have a local shop, so I'll make the drive to Chromatic Dragon in Somersworth, New Hampshire. Toy Soldier in Amesbury would be my 2 closest shops right now.
Nice. So you're on the north side of Boston.
Yep. Yeah, located in Salem right now.
Nice. Beautiful saltwater coastal town, for those of you who don't know. How long have you been judging Kill Team events, and what drew you to that side of the hobby instead of just playing? What drew you to wanting to TO and be on the other side?
Oh, that is a good question. At the start of this edition, we lived in Dover, New Hampshire, and so Chromatic Dragon, the store I mentioned, was there, and they are they're an excellent shop. They're really well stocked with 40k stuff, and I ended up sort of trying to get a local kill team night going there. And after that was going for I think about 2 months or so, I think people were sort of biting for a tournament, and I'd been wanting to run one, and it went well. We got 8 people from around the area to come up. We had a pretty absurd prize pool. Chromatic Dragon provides a lot of support, and it was a ton of fun. Yeah, and so from there, when we moved away, I didn't really run anything for a while. Recently, I ran our cultural exchange program in the New England Kill Team Discord, and then the Standish Standoff, and now Everwinter. I think the thing that draws me to that is it's a bit of a just like running kill team nights or playing intro games. It's a good way to sort of give back to the community, and it's I found it really rewarding at these last 2 larger events that I ran or helped run, seeing everybody come out and seeing like smiles, seeing tough close games. So to see that and sort of help be part of that.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a great answer. And actually, that leads right into my next question, which is how do you rate the overall sportsmanship of Everwinter? Did anything stand out to you positively, right? Like, this is kind of a big premier event in the Northeast, and I've been to Ironwald and Everwinter now, and so as just a competitor, I may not always realize the prominence of it's a really big event. We had almost 30 people. It's the largest event in the Northeast for Kill Team. So any really good sportsmanship you saw that stood out, or anything that you could really see that's positive within the community there?
Yeah, so one of the things which has been, I think, a positive change over the last year, and I feel like you can sort of trace this back to Scrap for the Strap over in Vermont that Milton out of Vermont ran, is that the judge, yeah, shout out to Milton, is that uh, the judges and the TOs, we are here to assist you to help keep the game fair and fun, right? So everybody is comfortable with what the board state is. We all know what's going on. Um, so obviously part of that is playing with intention. Like when you put your guy up against a wall, the table might get bumped. Very basic example of, hey, I'm putting my guy here up against this wall. And the guy goes, sure. But then, you know, obscuring lines and really tight measurement always get a little finicky. I think there's no way to say you don't have bias when you're at the table. Nate out of Connecticut, I sort of was the first time I saw this as a player. I said, hey, does this line look good to you? Is this an obscuring shot? And he goes, I'm way too biased for this, man. Let's grab Chris. Um, so me and Will, we both want to make sure we're there and everybody knows we're available just to help with those things that can could devolve into sort of a needless little petty disagreement. And I think all the players at Everwinter did a really good job doing that. Um, I think my favorite sportsmanship moment, my favorite examples is when somebody grabs a judge just to make sure if something goofy they're about to do is like all good to do. So Matt Hodling, he was playing Canoptic, and he said, "Hey, Eli, could you take a look at this? This like the ceiling floor, like the platform of the condenser, that's accessible, right?" And I go, "Yep." And he goes, "It's 5 inches tall." I'm like, "Yep." He's like, "So can I just drop through it?" And there was a clump of guys at the bottom, and I went, "Yep." And it's one of those things where, maybe this isn't the best example of it, but it's one of those things which looks weird. And it's always sort of those moments of, can I do this? Let's just grab someone to check. And then you see this really funny interaction happen on the table. So I think that would be one of my highlights from Everwinter. And you asked how I would rate it. I never give anything a 10, but I would say Everwinter was a very solid 9. Um, we didn't really have any issues with sportsmanship or fair play or if there are issues, I hope somebody would come and tell me. Nobody had to tell me about anything, so that's a good sign.
What advice would you give players who want to play really competitively hard while still being a great opponent for the person they're playing against?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I sort of mentioned playing with intention, and I think that's a big one. I like to think back to a game I played with Stephen Sherwood down at the Crypt down in Rhode Island, run by Jax. Um, we were playing on Into the Dark, and we were always checking in where without bothering to measure because I know Steven knows how to measure. He knows I know how to measure. It was just those things about putting it down and being like, hey, are you placing that model within control range of the door, or specifically outside of 2 inches, or within and without on that barricade? So I think rather than just measure it and say, okay, that's good, and keeping that to yourself, making sure to explain that part of what you're doing with your opponent, and that sort of goes hand in hand with being very like forward, deliberate, and as accurate as you can be with your measurement. I think both of those things work pretty hand in hand to make sure that you're having a good experience with your opponent. Um, it can, there's always the thought of, oh, I don't want someone to know my plans, but we are in a way playing a cooperative game, right? We're both working together to keep this board state to both of our understandings, as well as um, playing this game as competitively as we can into each other.
I do a quick argue. Not only that, it's not quite as transparent as chess, but still it's a known board state. You have 3 APL. I know most of your model's abilities. You might have one gotcha in your back pocket somewhere, but it's still
Yeah.
a known quantity, right? Like it's not like we're flipping over poker cards seeing blind. Like we can all see the table, and as long as you walk around the table, it's mostly known.
Yeah, right. Like we're not doing bluffs. We're doing like baits. I'll try to trick you by making you think that I don't actually want you to go after this model that I placed out in an aggressive position, right? That's where the sort of second level occurs when we both have a full understanding of what's going on. So I think, always working with your opponent to make sure both of you are happy with everything that's going forward. Um, like you obviously don't need to say, hey, I'm moving this guy up. Say you're playing AOD, you move a model up to a door. You don't have to say, on his counteract, I'm going to use Wrath of Vengeance to open the door and shoot you, but you should let them know that you're placing them within control range of the door. That way there's not any, like, oh, let's measure, is this guy really within an inch, or that sort of stuff, because again, TOs were here to help for that, but you can skip a lot of that by just with good communication. I think that would probably be my advice with that, as well as to get better. I think you really just need to do the reps. Like we have, we're starting to grow to have a number of extremely talented players in our area, but the thing that you always need to remember is those players are getting 2 to 4 games in every week. You're not
Calum
just going to
plays
magically
6.
get better at the game.
He
Callum
won
plays 6.
Everyone he won. He played 6 some weeks. Sometimes it's only 3, but some weeks he hit 6.
Yeah, yeah. That means see that explain because he's gotten so much better so fast. It's kind of weird being, uh, being here from sort of the beginning of New England, talking to each other. But I mean, at this point, I would say I'm an experienced player, but the amount of people we have who are far more talented than me it's a lot. Calum to name one. He puts in the reps, and he's he's just quite good as a result of it. So
From Everwinter itself, were there any rule interactions or rule questions that surprised an experienced judge like yourself?
well, one of the things which I've found interesting as of late is there seems to be a fair amount of confusion regarding cover and obscuring, which I mean, I'm not particularly surprised. It between if you've played last edition, moving to this edition, it's going to throw a bunch of curveballs your way. Um, so I think that one didn't pop up during Everwinter that much, but sort of on the prep for Everwinter, there was a lot of discussion on it, making sure me and Will both knew where people were getting tripped up on it, and also that we're on the same page for even really weird, like on those weird interactions where when you have a large base, and they could gain both cover and obscuring, that sort of thing. So I think that's probably the one that surprised me the most. I guess there's discussion in other like online communities for it where, at least from the outside looking in, it seems people are measuring along the cover line rather than the shortest distance between the model and the intersecting point of terrain, which is actually a reasonable mistake to make because in Kill Team 21, that is the way it worked. We had the developers commentary and they said, yeah, you measure along this thing. So yeah, I think up towards the prep, that was the most surprising thing to realize. There's a possibility we would need to reference diagrams we had made ahead of time. We didn't have to during the tournament, but yeah, I think that was the most surprising thing, sort of on the run up to Everwinter. In terms of calls that I found surprising during the event, confusion regarding the third bullet point of Vantage, where any heavy terrain connected to the Vantage platform that the shooter or intended targeted is on is ignored for the purpose of obscuring. There's a weird moment with that where both players didn't know. That one surprised me a bit.
Oh, was somebody taking a shot from the third level of Vulcus or the second level of Vulcus?
It was ruins to a stronghold. So yeah, that wall in between is ignored because the intended target is standing on the stronghold Vantage. Yeah, that was probably the most surprising moment, though. In full fairness, it was me. I was just standing next to the table and heard them mention something about it and went, wait a second, that's not how that works. That being said, I think that was one of my mistakes at the event. I don't think it's, there's definitely debate on it, but I don't necessarily think it's appropriate for a TO to mention something like that's going wrong in a game without being called over for it, because both players had a misunderstanding there. They were actually playing on the same page. And it also brings up, right, literally depending on where the TO is standing, certain tables would be subject to more scrutiny. So I think that was something I while it was it was so surprising that I felt the need to butt in, but in hindsight, I think it's not necessarily the appropriate moment for a TO.
As long as everyone's playing wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go about it. I think we have a lot of experienced players in our area, and eventually you'll get in a game with one of them, or you'll read something somewhere, you reread the rules because you're bored, and you'll find out that that's not the way it goes, and you correct it, and the people you play with will correct it, and you'll all get better together. But yeah, it sort of threw a monkey wrench into both players there's game plan. So it was I think an inappropriate thing for me to have done.
Was there any specific rulings that were particularly troublesome? Like it could have rules as written of multiple outcomes, or multiple rules interacting with specific models that you and Will or both of you had to like collaborate on to really find the proper way to adjudicate?
Yeah, so we ended up putting together an FAQ document. Just going through my head on some of those. Luckily, going into that event, we got that clarification where they explained what was going on with expendable models, because for a while everybody was sitting there. Yeah, so it's good that we have that clarification. Something I found out, which was interesting is regarding the Jaeger's Bombast is actually able to use that to go on guard on close quarters combat maps, which at first I was shocked.
His 3-inch insane blast. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and the reason is, at least in my opinion, is that there are other abilities which have FAQs that provide a free shooting action and are specifically mentioned as being able to go on guard from that. For instance, me and you were chatting about commandos. Commandos is one of those. You can use Dakadash to go on guard, and there's a specific FAQ referring to that. The FAQ right now. We had just had. It looks like it was just a bunch of stuff relating to the two new teams with the Wolf Scouts. So me and Will had to sit down and figure out like what happens when a +1 and a -1 to hit stat go together at the same time because of the storm. We also didn't have anything. Nothing confirming it, but wall terrain works that if it doesn't say you can measure around it, you can't. So had to clarify that the storm had to be measured around wall terrain. But yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, it was that October 2025 clarification did save us a ton of headache.
Now, there's always, there not always, but there can sometimes be a little grumbling with players. But from your experience at Everwinter itself, do you think there was any common mistakes versus like intentional rule breaking or trying to pull one over on anybody? Was there any? Were you ever called over for a specific cheating allegation or anything of that nature?
No, no, I didn't hear anything about that. I guess luckily. I think that sort of comes to one of the difficult things of being a TO, which is we're not there at the table. We don't see everything. So those issues like that can really only be discussed if we were to be approached multiple times by players, sort of discussing someone who's being a problem player. Which we, if you, no matter how minor, if somebody were to have an issue during their game, we do want to hear about it because then if that to you might have been potentially minor, if that were repeated and we were repeatedly told about that, well, now it doesn't seem so minor. It seems like there's a like an intention behind it by a bad spirited player. But no, I think it's pretty rare in Kill Team to run into that sort of issue. Um, if we, and I don't even necessarily think it's cheating. I think some people are vague with their measurements, I guess is the best way to do it, less or imprecise. Um, which that's a lot of the time you could just be like, oh hey, that doesn't look right. But
That's more than 5.
yeah, we didn't even. It's more than
That's more than 5 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You go like, you sure about that one? Yeah, but I think like so, when people start playing the game, if somebody's unintentionally having imprecise movement, they tend to be corrected either from learning from example or somebody being like, "Hey, man, that's not how you measure." Um, so I think a lot of that sort of gets corrected early on. Um, but yeah, we didn't really have anybody come up to us with any issues. Um, which if nobody had issues, obviously that's a good thing. If there was issues and we didn't know about it, that would be a bit of a bummer, because we want to hear about it if there is anything going on.
Also, as a player, again, the 5 people I played, I knew them. They were great opponents, but I didn't like come across 25 people. I only came across 5, so you don't get to see the majority of players in the event. Was there any worry about a toxic player or anything like that, or did everybody just get along and for the most part sportsmanship was really high?
Yeah, I mean, well, with an event like this where there's a possibility of a golden ticket, you can go past like competitive sportsmanship and I like the concept of serious fun, um, into sort of being a little petty, a little disgruntled. I think we certainly had. Yeah, exactly, right. And I think there were certainly moments of people being frustrated. Like that's natural, right? In anything competitive, right? It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to get a little angry. It's what you do with that determines whether or not you're a good sport. Um, you know, if you get destroyed in a game, you're going to be frustrated and angry. It's just whether or not you use that to grow or if you lash out. So I think, we certainly had frustration going around, but we didn't have anybody lash out, which I think that's what you can hope for. We didn't have any specific concerns about any individuals. I think overall, both me and Will shared a worry regarding time because it does seem that 2 hours in this edition and this season feels tighter than it has in previous editions of Kill Team. This could be because people are better and have more to consider. And obviously, if you're playing a horde team, God bless you. That's keeping track of 14 models in a 2-hour game is tough. But I think that was our main concern, and not even from like a slow playing perspective. We had nobody in attendance that we had any concerns that they would maliciously slow play. But
I've ever seen that in Kill Team, honestly, but that's just an aside. We're fast enough, like me, you, that slow playing, there's no point. Like I don't know, right? Like
yeah, when I got started, I malicious slow playing was like a boogeyman in my mind. So there were definitely some people that I thought did, but having to get to know them better, play more games with them, get to know them as a person. No, that wasn't the case. They were just new, or they need a little more time when they're playing. And I think there's nothing wrong with that as long as you finish on time and your opponent feels like they got the fair amount of time, right? Um, Alexi Seagrave, I think, is a very good example of patience in play. I've never seen him go over time, but he always finishes at an hour and 50, and I'm like, goodness. Um, yeah, so it is one of those things like we want to have clocks available just in case we need them, and I think one round we had three, maybe four people on clocks as they were wrapping up. Um, though that being said, I don't think we had anybody get death clocked, like cut off in TP3 or something. I think everybody finished their games, which is what you want. We stayed on schedule and finished. Yeah, I more mean the death clock in that like well, Will uses the term, I guess, where uh, the master clock has run out of time, and then the TO walks over and goes, dice down, we're scoring it out, which you never want that to occur, right? Yeah, it's it because it can really screw with a bunch of teams' tac ops, right? It's sort of you know
hey, I play retrieve.
part
I
of it is
need to hold them at the end. I have to hold them at
exactly steal intel, dominate, all this stuff. Like you need an end of the game. Um, so yeah, you never want to see that happen.
So there was, 5 times 24 people, over 100 games played at Everwinter, 120 or something. Of all the matches you observed, was there any that stood out to you? Was there any round that stood out to you as particularly the best, or had the most janky stuff going on, or most competitive that you would like to showcase?
Yeah, there was let me make sure I'm getting his name right. So we had Jesse Perry, he took Death Watch, and we had them go into um, yeah, Mike L. He was playing battle suits. God bless him. He did pretty good considering sort of the issues that team has that people have talked about. His game with Jesse sounded like a riot. And then I think following that, there was a game with Jesse and Chris L. I think they might have both happened on the same Volcus terrain, unless I'm misremembering. But those ones seemed like a hoot. So it's always fun to see that happen. I did also get to observe a Blades of Cain mirror match between Zach Ward and Calum. And it was interesting, like turning around and then turning back, and both players have half of their team on the side of the board. I think those ones stand out to me, both sort of showing like even though we're being super competitive about it, we're still laughing and having fun with those 2 games with Jesse, and then that Blades of Cain mirror match where you have 2 people who they're quite good, and sort of seeing the high speed violence that ensues in when you have 2 elite teams go into each other like that.
Not just elite teams, 2 elf teams just start shredding each other because they have massive
Yes.
output, but they still only have 8
Yep.
wounds.
Exactly. Yeah, they're dying. Their weapons are almost designed to kill themselves. Everyone's running around with 4 or 5 chainswords or 4 or 6 power weapons. So,
was there anything that you learned out of this tournament as a judge, like any rule interaction, or oh wow, that's really cool that so and so did?
Nothing specifically sticks out to me, but one thing that I learned at the standard standoff, which sort of was reinforced here at Everwinter, and this is more something important about when you're a TO, is if you're not the bad guy, things get worse. Sometimes you do need to just walk up to a table and be like, nope, that's not how that works. And that we didn't have any good examples from Everwinter of this, but and same thing if players were to run out of time, right? It doesn't feel good to walk over and tell them, hey, dice down, game's over. But even in that example, if you don't do so, you push the whole event schedule back, and then you run into a whole host of other issues. So, just hanging along with Will, he's played 40K and run events for I think like a decade now. So he's definitely learned that. He's had his own mistakes and learned from that. And I think if there's anybody who wants to run events or TO and is worried about this situation, I think one thing to remember specifically with our community is even if somebody disagrees with me or is annoyed at a call, they're going to be mad for like a minute.
That's great, actually. I just have a couple closing questions. First would be, what advice would you give to a new player or a player who's been grinding at his local LGS and wants to do their first major tournament and do a GT five game event?
Make sure you know your rules and set reasonable expectations. My first Kill Team tournament ever was New York Open in 2023. I went 0-6. Technically, I got a bye round, so I had a tie in there, except I played with a friend who happened to be live down in New York and near the shop, and I lost that game too. But my goal going into it was go 0-6 and not embarrass myself, and by that I meant know my rules, know the game, and be able to go through the motions and finish on time. So if you do want to go to an event like this, I would say set reasonable expectations, right? Kill Team's a complicated game. It takes a lot of reps to get good at, but it doesn't mean you can't show up at one of these events, meet a bunch of really great people, and have fun while you're at it, right? You're probably not going to get the gold, but you'll certainly have a bunch of fun.
And any final thoughts for the NEKT community listening at home or those in our listening audience abroad?
Yeah, not too much. I would say a shout out to the Kill Team retreat that we have coming up here soon, run by John F. out of Connecticut. Want to shout that out. I think that's our next big major event. So that's something to be on the lookout for more info on that. But yeah, I guess in another closing thought, I really am thankful for this community and having the opportunity to be a TO and judge for everyone. It's very rewarding, and everyone makes it pretty easy, which is very nice. So it's great to be able to go out and help make these events that I know I've had a ton of fun at, and help support everyone else having that sort of fun as well.
No, I appreciate you being a TO, because I called you over a bunch throughout Everwinter, and you always were like, nope, that's how it is, that's how not is. And it's always good having an expert to just rely on whenever you need it. So we appreciate you. Thank you to you and Will for doing an awesome job at Everwinter, and thanks to everyone who showed up to Everwinter and competed, either win or lost. I came exactly middle of the pack, 2, 1, and 2, and I was 13th, best of the rest. So it was quite cool to be there, see everybody, and have such a wonderful time. Thank you again, Eli, for coming on KTPR. I really appreciate you, man, and I hope you have a really great week.
Oh, you're fine. I had fun. Yeah, thanks for asking me to be on. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I was a little nervous. I enjoyed it far more than I thought I would, which I already thought I was gonna have a good time. So yeah, it was a blast.
In that
All right,
case,
see ya.
we're gonna make sure you come on again. Thank you so much. You be well.
Woo! See ya.
This is Kurt reporting. The last section of today's show features the winner of the hobby competition at Everwinter. This individual put together a really, really impressive 2-army board, and we'll have a great description and some pictures up for everybody. This is really inspiring what this individual did with their paints and supplies, and can really go a long way to show the community what can be done in a short amount of time with dedication and skill. Listen up to this really cool interview. I'm sorry I don't have better pictures. Welcome to KTPR. This is Kurt. I have the winner of Everwinter's hobby contest with me this morning. We're going to do a quick interview with how that amazing product came to be. Please, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Chris Lewis. I'm out of Colchester, Connecticut. Been playing for about a year and a half, and hobbying for about that much time as well. It's been a new thing for me to get into. It's been great. The teams I've been playing a lot of Jaegers. We played Jaegers at Everwinter. They're a blast. I think I'm playing them wrong, but I'm having fun, and that's what's most important. And the store I play at most often is probably the Battle Standard. It's for my money the best gaming store I've ever stepped foot in. It's awesome. But I also do spend some time at the Lotus in my hometown Colchester, which is also an excellent store. So yeah.
Shout out to everyone's local LGS, and a big shout out to the Battle Standard. Not every store can have a bar and restaurant inside.
No, no, I mean, everybody can't do that.
It's really special that way. You had this amazing board at Everwinter, and you brought 2 teams. You only played one of them, but you had this really amazing board, and I'll give you a moment just to, if you could describe it, and then tell the listening audience what your inspiration for this.
I had the Jaegers, and I bought the Tyranid half of the Typhon box. Really like the Ravener, so anybody familiar with that knows it comes with a bunch of gaunts and Ripper Swarm and stuff as they designed to be NPOs. And so I was kind of in a lull of having painting projects, having painted both of the Jaegers and Raveners already, and decided I wanted to do some kind of big board for Everwinter, because I didn't have a team to paint, and usually I spend the 3 or 4 weeks leading up to a tournament painting something, usually the team I'm playing. At the time I was reading one of the newer books, I think the only Votann book is High Call's Oath, and it was, it's kind of has them going into like an old, basically, civilization of theirs, and they're getting attacked by Xenos, and they're kind of like holding it off. It's orcs in the book, but we went with Tyranids in this one. Also, apparently lore friendly. The Tyranids butt heads with the Votann a lot too. So I was reading that at the time, and just kind of had the idea for them holding a bunker of failed Votann civilization or something. So
it's really impressive. You also found a great way to use the Typhoon terrain, right? Like, I know Steven's been making some map packs with the Typhoon terrain, but I have all this plastic that's primed and unused. So kudos for you for figuring out how to deploy it in such a really wonderful way,
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah. When I first bought it, I was thinking like, oh, maybe this will be used for game terrain, but other than Steven, nobody's ever came out with anything, and that's still kind of I think in the works. So I was like, well, you know what, whatever. I'll just plop some down on here, and I'm out of. I kind of did the board first, and I was like, well, this is I got it's not very 3D other than the model, so I wanted to liven it up a little bit. So.
And it really does give good contrast because it like the dwarves are holding the high ground with their big sort of dwarven tower, and then the Tyranids are moving up the slope. Yeah, it gives really nice sort of depth to the board itself.
Yeah.
Of course, go team biomass. What was your inspiration for the Tyranid color scheme? Because it's not like your traditional just purple bone. Like I really like the blue.
Yeah, I've just never. I guess that's Leviathan maybe. I can't remember. That's whatever hive fleet that is. The purple and bone, and I've just never been a big fan of it. So I actually I guess maybe it was subconscious because I realized when going back and finding source material for it that it was this is Hive Fleet Behemoth, which I guess was what they were playing in what kind of all the Tyranids were in 3rd edition, because I found me and my cousin were looking through some old Tyranid books, codexes from that time period, which is when we had models for way back in the past. We haven't done anything with Warhammer in 2 decades, but back then we had 3rd edition stuff, and there's actually a few the for when the picture's up. There's the Tyranid bodies on the floor. The fallen foot soldiers are actually 3rd edition gaunts.
Oh, nice.
Yep. From his mom's attic, collecting dust for God knows how long. So yeah, but it's a little brighter, I think, than the actual original Behemoth artwork. But I just love those 2 colors, that scarlet and kind of teal. And even the Votann are actually, it doesn't look like it as much because they got those big jackets on, but they're also the base coats for them are also that scarlet and very dark teal. So that's pretty much it. The my childhood, I guess, peeking through.
You have to draw an inspiration from somewhere, right? And that's a really good spot to bring from. Speaking of the Votann models, even we got to play Everwinter, and I have to say you did a really nice job painting those. I liked them a lot. You have I don't know if it's fur or the bit of white around all their cowls and stuff like that. Is there any specific lore behind how they're painted, like the Tyranids, or is it just I want them to look this way?
No, they were just pure. Well, it's kind of this was kind of my first. These are the first models I painted using the base shade layer method that I feel like is getting popularized. So I kind of just found, like I was saying, it's literally just these 2 paints. I forget the name. Sorry, it's but the dark blue teal and the dark scarlet red are just like these 2 paints. I was like, I'm gonna build around this, and then I'll I'll work on shading and layering up. And I've been putting those paints to work, and yeah, I just kind of liked the denim look that the teal gives on the canvas and the spacesuits, and I had to do the dusters realistic because I don't know that for me that was just non-negotiable. I needed the cowboy coats.
Oh no, absolutely. They're all wearing calf leather jackets. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So I've seen people do these sorts of boards. I personally am just like, oh wow, I don't even know where to start. So I have a question about process. Is it on plywood? Sure. Is it mostly like foam insulation? Like how did you get the contours of the terrain first, and then how did you build it up to make it look like Mars? Because it's legit a planet. You have a little slice of an alien planet here that's being fought over. So how did you create that?
So I was trying to recycle as much as possible. I didn't want to create a bunch of waste doing this, but so it's placed on. One of the things I really wanted was it to be easily transportable. So it's on. Yep. It's on an old dirty serving like Christmas serving tray that's been in our basement getting gross.
It's Grandma's TV tray.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it was. I don't know how long it's been sitting down there, and it's just IKEA junk. It's like had some styrofoam in the basement that I could carve into the very rough outline of the hill you have there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then my daughter had some leftover cork, really thin cork board from some school projects, and so I that was kind of the first layer um, of of creating the depth. Uh, One of the things that was really important to me was I wanted all the models to still be playable, but I didn't want them to just be sitting in there constantly getting knocked over. So everybody's magnetized. Every model is magnetized onto the board, as you can see by their bases.
Oh, so you have magnets on the cork, and so it's cork on top of styrofoam.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Okay.
I did it. I did it at Everwinter, and it made a lot of people uncomfortable. You can actually invert the board, and everybody stays put. But the models are fully removed. Like that, none of them are on there right now because I played on Thursday, so they're all in my Go box. So magnetizing them and having them playable was important to me. But so after the cork, it's just I use a lot of my texture paint recipe is literally just coffee grounds and kids playground sand. Mix that up with black paint, and it gives a good variability in the kind of grains of the sand you get there and the grains of the dirt. But for the board, my one concession to spending money was I bought the GW's Crackle paint. I think it's Martian Iron Earth, and I used that for a lot of spots to get that cracked plains look. Yeah, I think that's all the texture. Other than that, it's just a lot of dry brushing, and yeah.
That's a really great approach for the high tech, low tech. I do some of that in my own modeling. I really like using just super glue and sand, and that can give you a great sort of dirt contrast. But I like the idea of coffee grounds. I would have never thought of that because of most organic things, coffee grounds covered in paint is not going to biodegrade, right? So it's there forever, and that is very nice.
Right.
Gives you a different level of texture than just the grains of sand. So yeah, that's very cool.
Yep, for sure.
This board definitely tells a story, as we were saying before. Like the dwarves are trying to hold their point, and the Tyranids are coming up the hill. In sort of the narrative of this board, in your mind, who's winning here? Who wins? Do the Tyranids just wipe them out and take the tower, or is there like two dwarves left, hold up, and all the Tyranids are dead? What's the story of this?
I think if we're using the kill team rule set, the Jaegers are pretty cooked to have a whole squad of Gaunts on top of the Raveners team. But I think in my head canon, the Jaegers win the day and the Nids win the war. So they hold it off for now, but the planet's not staying there for long because the swarm's always coming.
Yeah, that's a great narrative, right? Because there's that giant fleet just off the central moon of the system. And there's more of them coming.
Right.
Maybe they can dwarf something up, and their tower turns into a spaceship, and they blast off, and they have to leave the planet.
Yeah. They got an escape plan, I'm sure.
Those were sort of only the only like formal questions I had prepared. Is there anything that you want to say about your hobby or this board in particular, or the Everwinter event that you just want to give shout outs or share about your experience that you really enjoyed?
Sure. I mean, the only hobby thing is I ended up coming home and after seeing a lot of the boards that other people had done across other game systems, and what stood out to me is a lot of people had done backdrops, and that just really kicked it up a notch for me. So with that inspiration, I came home and literally just two pieces of old the box that my Volcus came in, so just like sheets of cardboard, and I created a backdrop and just like YouTubed how to paint a night sky and did that, and it's like the most basic middle school art project for my backdrop, but I really love how it came out, and it really just drives up the contrast and gives you a nice clean background instead of seeing whatever the table and cups of soda and beer sitting behind it, or whatever else is going on behind the table behind it. So that was something I wish I had done for Everwinter, but was definitely a different sort of painting I had not tried since coming into the hobby. So that was fun to experiment. Yeah, Everwinter was amazing. It was my first 2-day tournament for any game system, anything like this. It was an awesome experience. Venue was great. People were great. Everybody did a great job. Will and Eli did an amazing job TOing as always.
I don't know. You did have some like
everybody was great.
weird 4th round opponent who was kind of a dick, but other than that, I'm sure it was.
That guy was the worst, but we were able to power through that and get back to having fun after that. No, it was a great time. I feel like everybody for the most part had a blast, and it was a good group of people to be stuck in a hotel in a blizzard, or not blizzard, but nasty squall of a weekend.
That's true. We did have the first day. There was a lot of snow coming down. It was kind of pretty, and then
yeah, it was kind of gnarly. but yeah, that was a good experience. It was awesome. Hoping to do more. Hoping to do the camping one. I know it's not really camping, but I'm blanking on the name. Sorry, John and everyone.
Spring retreat coming up in April. Shout out
Spring
to
retreat.
that.
Thank you. There it is.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for coming on KTPR, and you'll definitely, if you're willing, I'll definitely have you on again for maybe a dad team segment. I've been doing how do you fit your hobby around your children, right? Because that's a reality.
Absolutely, that is a real thing. Yeah.
But thank you so much, Chris, and I really appreciate you and your time, and I hope you have a really great weekend, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you and content creators like you, helping fill out the space and giving venues for discussions and stuff like this. I appreciate it.
So this is kind of thank you so much, but this is kind of a meta comment. I'm still like struggling with the fact that I am a content creator, right? Like, because I'm just like a dude in my basement.
Imposter syndrome is always real.
That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTPR. As always, please remember to do the internet things. We'll be back next month to bring you more content. We're going to be covering a narrative event that took place at the Battle Standard back in November, as well as including some of our other segments, like Dad Team and a review of a local shop. For now, this is Kurt with KTPR reporting from the trenches.